Listen up, if you over 65 and think you're moving just fine, you might be one misstep away from a life-changing wake-up call. You ever see an older neighbor walk across the street like they're balancing on a tightrope? Or maybe you've watched an elder in your family try to bend down and tie their shoe, only to grab the wall, the table, the chair, anything, just to stay upright? Yeah, that. And here's the raw truth nobody sugarcoats. The older we get, the more every simple movement becomes a test that predicts how long and how well we'll all live. Doctors don't always tell seniors this, but trainers, physical therapists, and long-lived old folks who've cracked the aging game all say the same thing. Mobility equals longevity. If your body stops doing basic moves, your life doesn't just become harder, it becomes shorter. Now, don't panic. That's not a threat. That's a wake-up slap from the universe. And today we're diving into the 7 movements after age 65 that separate a strong, independent senior from someone slowly losing years off their lifespan without realizing it. But before we get into the movements, let's talk about why they even matter. See, once you're past 65, your body's like an old car. Still reliable, still cruising, still classy, but it needs maintenance. If you ignore the signs, the breakdown happens faster. And these movements, they're not exercises. They're not workouts. They're life checks. Tiny, everyday motions that show whether your joints, muscles, heart, nerves, and balance are still in the game, or clocking out. Most older people lose these movements so slowly they don't even notice. It's not overnight. It's creeping, quiet, sneaky. First you stop squatting. Then getting up from the floor becomes for kids only. Then reaching overhead feels like a chore. Then you're avoiding stairs. And before you know it, you're trapped inside your own body. But here's the plot twist. If you can still do these 7 simple moves after 65, research shows you can literally add years to your lifespan. And if you can't? Well, let's just say we're about to fix that, because this story, it's not just a warning, it's a roadmap. We're about to walk through 7 moves that tell you everything about your aging body. And every part of this will be written with attitude, energy, and that American slang punch you asked for. So grab your seat, take a deep breath, straighten your spine, yes, right now. And let us jump into movement number 1, the one that predicts future independence better than your doctor's chart. If you want to know how long an old person will stay independent, don't ask them, watch how they sit and stand. Alright, let's kick it off with the first 2 movements, and trust me, these are the big ones. These are the motions that decide whether someone can live alone at 70 or needs help at 75. Movement number 1, the sit to stand test. No hands, no pushing off your knees, no cheating with the armrests. Just sit and stand. If a senior can sit down in a chair and get back up using only leg strength, it's a massive green flag. But if they gotta rock forward, grab something, or push themselves up, boom, instant red flag. This movement exposes leg strength, balance, core stability, reaction time, fall risk. And here's the kicker. Studies show seniors who struggle with sit to stand are 3 to 5 times more likely to lose independence within a few years. Harsh? Yes, true, absolutely. But here's the cool part. This is one of the easiest moves to rebuild. Movement number 2, step up ability. Not running stairs, just stepping up onto a single stair without wobbling or grabbing a railing. If you can still do this at 65 plus, your heart, balance, coordination, and leg strength are all working like a well-oiled machine. If you can't, your body's sending you a message. Hey, we got some repairing to do before gravity wins. This movement predicts lower body strength, hip stability, cardiovascular health. And here's something most people don't know. Seniors who avoid stairs age faster, because avoiding stairs means avoiding effort. And avoiding effort is the fastest road to muscle loss. Movement number 3, the overhead reach. Try reaching up high, like grabbing something from the top shelf. If an older adult can raise both arms overhead without pain, shaking, or leaning backwards like a falling tree, that means the shoulders, back, and spine are aging gracefully. If they can't, it's a sign the upper body is tightening, shrinking, and weakening all early signs of accelerated aging. Loss of overhead mobility is often the first sign someone is heading toward. Rounded shoulders, neck pain, upper back stiffness, poor breathing. If you want to know how fast someone is aging, watch how they get off the floor. This part's gonna hit hard. Because these next three movements are the ones most seniors fail, not because they're weak, but because nobody ever told them these movements matter. Let's dive in. Movement number 4. The floor to stand test. Can you get down to the floor and get back up without using your hands? If yes, congratulations. This one movement alone is so powerful that doctors call it a longevity predictor. If no, listen, you're not doomed, but you better start working on it today. Why is this movement so important? Because the ability to lower your body, control your descent, shift your weight, coordinate your limbs, activate your core, push yourself back up, requires nearly every joint and muscle in your entire body. Lose this ability, and you've essentially lost the foundation of human movement. And the scary truth? Most seniors lose this ability a whole decade before they lose independence. Movement number 5. Single leg balance, stand on one leg for 10 seconds. Easy? You're aging like a champ. Hard? That's a massive warning sign. Balance starts slipping long before people notice. And when balance goes, falls follow. And when falls come, broken hips, hospital beds, and a fast decline. One leg balance predicts neurological health, leg strength, inner ear function, reaction time, fall risk. And get this, longevity studies show people who can stand on one leg longer tend to live significantly longer than those who can't. Movement number 6. The hip hinge. This is basically bending over and standing back up without rounding your back like a question mark. Older adults who lose this movement start walking slower, developing back pain, losing glute strength, shuffling instead of stepping. And that shuffle? That's the early stage of mobility decay. When someone can't hinge properly, they start avoiding bending entirely, and once you stop bending, the world gets smaller. Picking up dropped items? Hard. Tying your shoes? Harder. Cleaning? Forget it. This movement is the difference between active senior and struggling senior. The final movement is the one nobody talks about, but it's the one that predicts how confidently and safely you move through the world. And it is coming up in the final part, along with a closing hook that will keep your viewers glued. This last movement is the one seniors lose so slowly, they don't notice, until they need help just walking across a room. We've arrived at the 7th movement. And trust me, this is a big one. Movement number 7, the controlled walk test, not power walking, not running, just walking smoothly without dragging feet, without leaning forward, without shifting side to side, and without grabbing walls. Walking is the most basic human movement, but it is also the hardest to keep clean as we age. If an older adult shuffles, leans, takes tiny steps, walks stiffly, drags a foot, can't keep rhythm, then the body is whispering, we're losing coordination. Walking reveals everything. Hip stability, spine alignment, muscle strength, brain to body, communication balance, cardiovascular health. Walking like a young person equals aging gracefully. Walking like a fragile person equals accelerated decline. And here's some tough love. The moment a senior starts walking carefully instead of confidently, life gets smaller. They avoid steps. Avoid outdoors, avoid movement. And that avoidance speeds up aging more than anything else. The big lesson, if you can do all 7 movements after 65, you're a beast. You're aging with swagger. You're adding years to your life. You're proving the system wrong. But if you can't, don't panic. Don't stress. Don't think it's too late, because every single one of these movements is trainable. You can rebuild strength. You can regain mobility, you can improve balance, you can upgrade your walk, your posture, your confidence, and your lifespan. Aging isn't about getting old, it's about stopping the decline before it becomes permanent. And these 7 movements, they're your blueprint. Now the real question is, which of these movements can you still do, and which ones are silently stealing years from your life without you noticing?